All right, so listen, we're back again here on Conversations on Film.
I was fucking around.
I was on the Vision Pro. We was having a good conversation about sex and shit. I mean, we still gonna have the footage, but you know, they had a little technical difficulties. So we're gonna talk about what's this girl name?
What girl?
Monique.
Yeah, this woman, this grown ass.
I was about to say, don't
woman.
do that to Auntie Monique now.
She and her son are having a little tiff, right? Tell us about it, cause I don't remember. What the hell
Yo,
it
so
was
my
about.
thing. All right, so let me get.
Hold on, first you gotta tell them.
So, Monique went on Shannon Sharp's Club Shay Shay, right after Cat Williams, and she was expressing herself about her experience in the industry, and you know, I mean, people she's dealt with, Kevin Hart, Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry, and what you know they've done to her and stuff that she's experienced in the industry, and she went on, and she spoke about other comedians. One of them was D.L. Hughley, and she went on and said some things about her experiences with D.L. Hughley in a negative way. And he responded by saying that she brought up his daughter and a sexual assault situation that happened with his daughter, and that she wasn't a good parent, and you know she needs to fix her relationship with her son. In turn, her son showed up with his own video saying that what D.L. Hughley was saying was actually accurate, that she wasn't a good mom, and she was preparing herself to be, you know, this person that's a victim all the time, but in all actuality, she's been victimizing her own son. She hasn't been taking care of her own responsibility. And basically, her son was holding her accountable for the way he's being treated by his own mom. And I was here for it, because I understand that a lot of times, personally, before I even get ahead of myself, I don't really like Monique's approach to a lot of things. I think Monique plays the victim a lot, and she doesn't look into her own self. And she also comes across as one of those people that everybody is doing wrong, and she never does anything wrong. I think this young man, being who he is holding his mom accountable. You can't be out there trying to hold everybody else accountable, and you're not doing what you need to do for your own household. And if you're a young man and you feel that way about your mom, in our culture where black men hold their moms at high regard like that, that means there's something going on. Something deeper than what we're seeing. And she's never addressing that. And she never addresses the stuff that's going on with her. I mean, this young man feels hurt. He feels like, yo, his mom has abandoned him.
Why you call this nigga a young man? He's 34 years old.
He's a young man. He's younger than me.
He's 34 years old, man.
He's the man.
You're not old enough to be his pops.
You don't know what I was doing when I was 12.
Yeah.
I was getting busy playing R. Kelly.
Like, I feel like we have a lot of, like, weaker men because of where was the dad this whole time?
Yeah, but I'm saying that's a part of it. You're having weak men because they're raised by single moms.
Right. And then you holding her accountable for all the things she may have not done for you, not knowing what she's going through to try to get to that place.
I don't want to hear that.
Yo,
It
just,
bothers
I don't.
me.
just because she's famous and was making money, that don't mean she was able to be the best mom.
True. So she.
But it's okay for when fathers.
It's not okay. It's not okay.
Okay.
But these women never held accountable for nothing. It's not almost. It is blasphemous for you to say something about your mom or your grandmom just based on them being your grandmom and your mom, and they're never always right.
It's blasphemous for who, though?
Huh? It's blasphemous for.
It's not Okay, it's only blasphemous when a male speaks against his mother.
Yes.
It's never blasphemous when a black woman speaks about the harshness that her black mother put her through.
Yeah.
Right? Because the world will look at a black man speaking on his black mother as if it's the holy fucking grail. To where we all know that in our community, let's call a spade, black boys get coddled and black girls don't when it comes to their mothers. Black girls are taught to be women, be stand up, have your own, do this, do that, to where and I've experienced it myself because I have brothers, to where your brothers can be at home late into their 20s into their 30s, but as a young black woman, it's why do you still live home with your parents? You don't have your own yet? To where
You don't
black
got a man.
boys are right. Where's your man? Your man is not providing for you. To where black boys have a cushion that black women don't have when it comes to black mothers.
But in providing that cushion, you're doing the kid a disservice.
I agree with you.
So that need to be highlighted.
I
Just
agree.
like Sha said, you're producing soft men. You're producing men that don't. You know what? You know why this young generation won't open the door for you? Because he saw his mom open the door for herself her whole life.
Yes.
Right?
Because as black women, we have adapted this struggle mentality.
Mm-hmm.
And we think that shit is a badge of honor and it's a cape to wear. To where I don't need you to open no doors for me. I'm independent. I don't need you to help me raise my kid. You better not tell my kid what to do. Right? To where this why you stress, this why you overwork, this why you not have heart conditions and everything else, and you 30 fucking years old because you stressed and you don't got a village to come help you raise your funky ass kid because the village wants to correct your child, but you so busy on it, you better not say nothing to my kid. Yeah. You better not correct my kid. Right? We have that mentality, and Monique seems like somebody who may have had that mentality.
Yeah,
I don't
because
know.
they talk about she says her man is her daddy, right? Mm-hmm. But you want to know why chivalry is dead? Women killed it. Black women killed it.
I don't think Monique lives by that, right? Because she's old school. Like if you watch, so I watched the Shay Club Shay Shay because I love me some Shay Shay. I watched the interview because I think people get a level of comfortability with him that they just want to divulge, right? To me, he's the male version of Wendy Williams, and I'm here for it. Yeah. How you doing? But what I loved about it is Monique is Monique. And Monique stays true to who she is. You have to understand the era she grew up in. To where the era she grew up in, your man was everything to you. Right? Your man is the leader. Your man is the provider. Your man is the voice piece. That's why when they addressed her son, the man spoke. Because that's how she was raised. She was raised that the man gets the last word. The man, what he says goes. She comes from that era. Right, you got to know who she is to understand. Now, I'm not making excuses, but I also understand. Now, it did disturb me when she kept saying, because if you listen to her in the past, she constantly says her daddy, speaking of her husband, raised her, and he's still raising her, which to me is a problem. Yeah, absolutely. I don't like it. It's cringy for me. Right, I can understand if you say he's helping you evolve, but I don't want no nigga raising me. Right, I'm grown as fuck. But again, that's a different era. She's an auntie in my eyes. And that auntie era, that's how they all looked at it. Like, whatever my man says, he got the final word. His word is golden, and that's what we sticking to.
But a lot of that wasn't right.
Oh, no, I'm not saying it was right.
So that's what I'm trying to say. So that's where this young man is getting chastised because he's coming at his mom, right? And as you get older, you're recognizing like, yo, a lot of the stuff that our parents taught us and the way we were learning things, they didn't evolve with time, and they really were bullshit, right? And that's why the kids come out the way they are, and we have the generation of people that we have now because we were following their guidance. And as I got older, and now I'm in my 40s, and I got my own kids and my own family, I'm recognizing my parents didn't know what the fuck they was talking about. Especially my mom didn't know what she was talking about.
A lot of our parents didn't because they only knew you only know what you know until you realize you don't know what the fuck you don't know, right?
What happens is they don't acknowledge that. They don't acknowledge that they didn't know. They don't acknowledge that maybe time has evolved and what I was saying before, and they never come back and say, you know what?
But
maybe we should try it this way.
Monique's son says out of his own mouth that she admitted that she wasn't the best mother.
So what you doing about it?
Wait. Yeah. It seemed like he wasn't okay with that. Because sometimes, as a parent, speaking from someone who is a parent, sometimes me just admitting that I'm not the best parent is all I can do in this fucking moment. So what more do you want from me?
Before I lose my chain of thought, right? That happens all the time. That's happened with my mom. It's happened to a lot of people that I know. They're going to just tell you, you know this is how I am. And I know I wasn't the best mom. Okay, so what are you going to do about it? Nobody wants to hear it. We already established the problem. We know you wasn't the best mom. What are you going to do about it? And that's where the problem happens. That's why he feels left out in the cold. Because you're going to tell me, yeah, I fucked up. Okay, so now that you fucked up, how you gonna fix it? And that's where disconnects happen because everyone is gonna say, this is how I am. Jamaican women be like, see, I saw steer. Okay, so what are you gonna do about it? And those things resonate into so many other things. Now, you need to fix that behavior.
Now, although I agree with you, it is very hard to teach an old dog new tricks.
That's an excuse.
No, it's not. It's not. Conditioning is a real thing, and people are who the fuck they are. And we have to start accepting people for who they are. Yes, you
That's
do.
Another,
yes, you
listen.
do. You have to accept people for who they are, and it's up to you how you want to deal with them. Stop expecting fish to climb fucking trees, right? A fish is a fish. Accept that shit for what it is. There are people who are never going to amount to what you think they should be or who you think they should be because that's not who the fuck they are.
That's disappointing.
It doesn't matter. Disappointment is a part of life.
Which is fun.
It's a part of life. It happens. And her son also said he has mental health issues. We don't know what the variation of the mental health is. We don't know what the extent of the mental health is. We don't know if she's done her very best as a human being for this child. There are some parents who are not stellar fucking parents because they don't know how. They don't want to know how. They don't go to therapy. It seems to me like both of them need to sit down, just them, not with daddy, not with social media.
She ain't going nowhere without that nigga.
Room.
Yeah, that's the thing too.
They need to sit down together. I am such an advocate for Black people going to therapy with an unknown, unbiased person that you can just speak your piece. I remember I counseled this family and everybody kept over talking the child because she wasn't a child anymore. She was 19 going on 20 and everybody kept over talking her and I said, why aren't you all letting her speak? And when she opened her mouth, the things that child said were piercing to the parents, the step parents, and everybody had to take a step back. I think therapy is needed here. I'm not completely agreeing with Monique, but I understand that sometimes you do the best you fucking can with what you've been giving. And again, you gotta know who you're dealing with. If this woman is saying her husband is raising her, that is a major red flag.
Are we gonna talk about how Monique husband was like her roommate and best friend and he was around for all the husbands and then Swipe came in?
He
conditioned her.
Yeah, he connived his way in.
That happens a lot.
But then she's been conditioned to not be a good mom.
I don't know. To me, he's conditioned her on the wife level. I don't know what part he played as far as her being a mother. I don't know. I have no clue.
Because as a man and the attachment that you have to your mom, for you not to get that reciprocated back from your mom is gonna give anyone mental health issues. Right?
I will say this. No,
you know how many?
I will say this. Your first child always gets the raw, uncut version of you. Always, because you're learning, you're building, you're changing, you're growing with that child. Usually, your second, third, and beyond, they get the more conditioned parent. They get the more seasoned parent. Remember, this is a learning process, and this is her oldest son, right? So, as Monique said, she didn't have the best of educations. She didn't have the best of lives. So who knows what this boy experienced with her coming up in the comedy game to where she may have had to leave him with other relatives and different things because your oldest child gets the fucked up version of you. I don't care what nobody says. Unless you are 100% ready for this kid, you are a stellar individual before it happens, which very rarely happens in our community. Let's call a fucking spade a spade. Our eldest child often sees some shit we did not want them to see. They go through some shit we did not want them to go through. And then when the other children come, it's like, okay, I know not to do this. Let me correct these wrongs. And maybe, like you said earlier, maybe she said, you know what, I wasn't the best mother. And you said, well, when do you correct it? Maybe her correction was the other children. Not saying it's right, but maybe for her, she hasn't realized, like, oh shit, what do I have to do to now correct it with this older one? I don't know, Monique. I can only go off the interviews I've seen, but I understand both sides of this coin here, and it's a nasty cycle. We got to stop.
I think it gets to a point where in creating excuses for the mom, and creating excuses for Monique, and creating excuses for Black women in general, because I'm telling you, the accountability factor, if you ask any man out there, that resonates throughout them being kids into when they become grown women, into when they become mom, and then no one is ever holding them accountable for anything because you are trained to think, just like conditioned to think, that your mom could never do any wrong until later on you find out that she really wasn't doing what she was supposed to do.
Agree.
And then the excuses come up, and then by that time you're already tarnished and you're learning things the whole wrong way all this time. And if you're not being conscious about trying to readjust yourself and swing your life back into the other direction, you end up going years and years of us having the same shit over and over. I'm not telling you not to put your mom on a pedestal. Of course, they're the ones that nurture you when you're younger. The things that you're learning from them. But when they fuck up, they got to be able to know that, listen, Ma, you're not doing the right thing.
But
right?
your mother's human. Your mother's human. I learned that in college. I took a course called Black Women in America. And in that moment, I realized my mother's not a fucking superhero. My mother's a human being. She has bad days. She goes to work and she's frustrated and still has to come home and put this fucking cape on to where, guess what? It's mentally draining sometimes as a Black woman. So I always have to walk in this house with a smile on my face. I always have to sit here and act like I'm extremely happy to see these kids. No matter what happened in my personal life that day, I could have got a bad report from my job, the doctor. I could have got laid off. Some shit could have happened to my car. I don't have money to fix certain things. I don't got money to feed these fucking kids. And I got to find a way, make a way, and make it happen. This badge of superhero that Black women wear, it is fucking exhausting.
You're the ones that putting the cape on yourselves.
Do we?
Yes.
Do we, or does society put it on us? Because it's always mama's baby and daddy's maybe. Because there's so many times when a Black man will never come pick these fucking kids up to say, let me give you a break. There's so many times Black men don't say, let me pick up dinner so you don't have to cook tonight because I know you worked a fucking 10-hour day just like I did, and you still got to come home and do homework, pick them up from school, do laundry, clean the house. It takes more than just me sucking your dick to make a relationship what it needs to be. That's just reality of the situation. There are Black women who are fucking exhausted. We're going to school, trying to better ourselves to get degrees so we can make more money to contribute to the household. We are taking care of the kids. We're taking care of them financially, helping out. We're taking care of them emotionally and spiritually, because now I got to pray over my house to make sure shit ain't going array in here. We're doing the same thing for you while sucking, fucking, making your lunch, cleaning your clothes, making sure you have what you need. Let me finish. Mm-hmm. Then we're also making sure the house is tidy so when your bald-headed ass mama comes over here, she ain't talking shit about how I'm not taking care of the household. Then we got to make sure we look good when we step out this motherfucker because we want to make sure we look good for whatever the reason. Mm-hmm. It's a lot. That's all I'm saying. I'm not making excuses. What I'm saying is it's a lot. And sometimes a simple, babe, I picked up dinner works. A simple, I'll do the laundry. Or even if you don't want to do it, drop that shit off for me. Sometimes that's all that we ask. So like I said, I don't know, Monique. And I know that climb to stardom is vigorous. It's hard when you got kids. I remember a time where I had owned 3 businesses at one time, and my kids used to be like, yo, you're always on a call. You're always in a meeting. You're always doing something, because I'm providing a lifestyle, right? Because I'm trying to make a way out of, I don't want to say no way because I was privileged growing up, but nobody in my family owned a business. I didn't see that firsthand, right? To where sometimes you got to take a step back and say, all right, my professional shit is going good, but what's my household looking like?
Exactly. So
I agree with you. But what I'm saying is it's a lot. It's a lot. And we don't know what this woman went through. And it seems like she's wise at this point in time. It seems like maybe her and her son could sit down and learn some things from each other. Because that's the other thing. We feel like when we become parents, we can't learn shit from our kids.
So that was my initial point. Is the fact that now that you've established that things were difficult, things were rough, how can we remedy this going forward so that we can have a better relationship going forward? Because I feel like this young man, that's what he's asking for me to be able to have a better relationship with my mom, but it's difficult because she has the barrier of whoever this man is now that is her daddy and her principles that she's stuck with all this time, and the fact that you cannot hold your mom or any other woman accountable for anything because they're going to give out the laundry list of stuff that you just said, that I'm cooking, I'm cleaning, I'm sucking, I'm fucking, I'm doing all those things. But men have their own list of laundry list of stuff that they're going through too, right? But if I bring that up and I say those things, then I'm becoming some weak, complaining man, and I'm not supposed to be having any kind of mental condition or be having any kind of feelings about anything. And it's a catch-22 because now I'm told that I don't have any feelings, so I shouldn't show any emotion. And then if I don't show any emotion and I become numb and I don't do the things that you want, then I'm put in a bad place. And I'm being raised by someone who doesn't acknowledge the fact that she might not be raising me well and not catering to the shortfalls that are happening to me. And then we both become two numb people in this numb society.
But we also have to realize a lot of times we don't realize we're not raising our children the right way until they become adults. Right? Because that's when you see the fruits of your labor. Mm-hmm. And then it's like I know somebody now who has a daughter and her daughter is going down a rabbit hole. But she can't speak to her daughter because then she become a hypocrite. Mm-hmm. Because she's actually watching her own life play out. Right? She's watching what she allowed their father to do all these years and the bullshit. So she can't ever speak to her daughter because she knows her daughter will call her out on her bullshit. That's the other thing we have in our community.
I was watching Baby Boy the other night, right? And the line where he says, when his mom says to him, when are you going to leave the nest? And he said, you ain't ever leave the nest, right? This is grandma's house, right? You ain't never leave the nest. And it's hard for you to teach someone and show someone how to be when you never made the adjustments for yourself, right? And I get that. But as a kid and as a person who grows from a kid into an adult, later on, I would rather you say to me, you know what? I was being hypocritical, and I can expose my flaws and admit to my flaws, and I'm proud that you're becoming this person that you're becoming, or I expected more of you in this way than to stay stuck in your stubborn ways and not acknowledge the things that you could have done for me better, or work on our relationship going forward instead of it being like a negative thing going forward, and we're just stuck in our ways. And I figured that's what happened. You know you weren't raising me well. I was there. What's this nigga watching? You watching porn? Right? And instead of acknowledging that, you know, and we know because I was there. You're saying you weren't able to provide me all the things you wanted. Kids know, they see it. Like my mom works 2 jobs. She was out when I was younger. My mom used to have a living job. She worked in Scarsdale. She left me by myself, right? And I used to be in the crib by myself, and that used to bother me because I'm like, yo, damn, she's away from me, right? And then I used to bring it up, and instead of her looking at it like, yo, damn, I was really away from my son for a long period of time, and I could have gotten into so many different things, and I didn't. It was more of, I had to provide. I get that. You know what I'm saying? But I don't get the vibe that you felt like you should have been here, and that bothers me.
But that's the thing in our culture. Number one, pride and ego is such a big thing in our culture, right? Pride and ego to where we feel like we have to keep ripping and running and doing this and doing that, to where then you look up and your kid is grown and you like, oh my God, the life has escaped me. To where I always wanted to make sure I was so present for my children, and I didn't have to ask. Like I remember one time I was working a job and my daughter had a show and my boss at the time was like, leave. Yeah. Like, catch the show.
Absolutely.
But you have some bosses that don't feel like that. Because I hate working for people that don't have kids because I feel like they can never relate. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, and sometimes your parent does the best that they could do with what they've been given. Not everybody's educated. Not everybody has a decent job. Not everybody has health care. Thank God, whether your child has a health condition or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, life throws you some real life curveballs that we are not ready for. And again, with this whole Monique and her son situation, I hope they can hash it out and talk it out without daddy necessarily being present, because it feels like that's her mouthpiece. And one thing I will say I don't like about Auntie Mo, because I love Monique, but what I don't like is that she justifies her husband always speaking for her. And she was like, oh, you better be lucky he's here with me, and you better be lucky he speaks for me. No,
that nigga sound like a pimp. I know mad pimps.
I don't like it. But also, like I said, for a grown woman of her stature to say he was raising her was crazy to me. You can tell she has a lot of trauma. And that's the other thing we got to realize as Black children of Black parents. A lot of our parents had some real fucking trauma. I know so many West Indian friends that I have that have said their parents have never apologized to them from anything. My father, and I'm not West Indian, my father has never in his life apologized for any bullshit that he's ever done.
So here's the dynamic, right? And it's just funny thing, because my dad is my hero, right? My dad, to me,
speak about that a lot.
He's been very progressive in his thought process. Even to this day, I talk to him today. Like I talk to him all the time. From the moment we were little kids, me and my brother, we were allowed to speak to my dad, right? he was very strict with how he did things, but you were allowed to express yourself. You know what was going on, the political scene, school, everything. My dad put me in like speech writing and oratorical contests when I was a little kid, so I know how to articulate myself, so I'll be able to speak to him. Right? Those things sometimes get neglected. That's why sometimes y'all hear me advocating and talking about dads, is because I know what my dad did, right? And I know the impact of my dad did is the reason why I'm so hands-on with my own kids. And it's a ripple effect. It goes both ways in the sense of that if you're raised in a household where you have dysfunction, chances are you're going to raise dysfunction, right? But as old as my pops is, he can say sorry to me. Or he could say, oh, listen, maybe I shouldn't have said that, right? And I had a discussion with my sister today about, you know, her and him having an argument, and she wants him to, you know, to apologize for something that he says. I guarantee you, I get on the phone later on and I'll be like, yo, Dad, my sister feels a particular way about something. By the end of the evening, he'll be back saying, I'm sorry, I made you feel that way. He's a whole man, a whole real masculine man, right? But he don't have a problem saying that. And I think he raised me to be that, and he raised my brother to be like that, where we don't have a problem saying that. But it's possible. And
no, I'm not, of course. It's very possible, and it's a great thing that you've experienced that, right? And hopefully your children have picked up on that as well. But if we talk about, again, somebody like Monique, who it seems like she's reached out to her son. It seems like they've had this conversation. Sis has provided these receipts. So when she went on the other night and said, fuck them kids, and it was more like she said the lady in the airport came to her and was like, fuck them kids. I'm not going to say I didn't understand where she was coming from, because guess what? We are still humans. I don't give a fuck that I'm your mother. I'm still a human being. And I'm not going to continuously kiss your ass after I've opened the door for you to speak. I've opened the door for you to have the floor. I may have even apologized to you. Now, again, her son has said he has mental illness. Or he has mental health issues. So she could have apologized all of these years. She could have said, how can we fix this? How can we move on? How can we work this out? Because I heard her say it in regards to Oprah. I heard her say it in regards to Lee Daniels. I heard her say it in regards to Tyler Perry. So I can't really fathom that she wouldn't say it to her own flesh and blood, something that came out of her womb. So maybe she did say it to him. And maybe that wasn't good enough for him, right? Maybe he wanted something, because again, he has admitted he has mental health issues.
Understood. But wanting a relationship with your mom is that could be the basis of his mental health issues and the trauma that he's coming from.
It might be, but if I've opened the door to give you the level of a relationship that I know and I understand, again, we gotta stop expecting shit from people that they can't provide for us. That they can't. For any woman to get up and say that her husband is raising her, as old as that woman is crazy to me. There's some issues right then and there. So how can I expect someone who is being raised by her husband to fully understand this concept that I'm trying to get her understand of being an accountable mother? Not saying it's right.
Yeah, I get you.
But we gotta realize who we're dealing with. Like it tells you, like, when that deck of cards is dealt in life, you gotta play the hand you're dealt. His mother is who she is. Just like when we have parents who are crackheads. It is what the fuck it is.
But that's not going to stop your child from feeling like, damn, my mom's a fucking crackhead.
That's fine. Right? You can feel like that till you're blue in the face, but reality is that's what the fuck it is. You can't expect somebody that's not loving, that's not nurturing, that's not supporting to just turn into this person overnight. It doesn't work that, because it's like insanity. You're expecting something from somebody who can't even provide that for you. Because look at what she's looking for her husband to provide for her. You get what I'm saying?
I get you.
Like, excuse me, and he mentioned that he feels like she did a better job with the kids that she had with daddy than with him. That shit is real. But you know how many women and how many men treat their children fucked up because their child looks like a parent that they no longer deal with or that they have a real personal problem with. That shit is real.
But it's also traumatic.
It is. Yeah. Oh, I'm not excusing it. Like I said, I think some heavy, deep therapy, and I'm not talking about motivational therapy or inspirational therapy. No, I'm talking about really sitting down. This is called transformational therapy, where we go deep and we dive deep, and it gets ugly, and it's going to be some ugly tears and some ugly truths and some unshedding and unpeeling and unmasking. That shit gets deep. It gets and that's what needs to happen between these two, because this is traumatic on everybody's end. And again, even when I was watching the Shay Shay episode, and again, I love Monique, but I did feel a sense of something wasn't genuine.
I get that a lot
It seemed
with Monique,
a little weird to me. It seemed like like you said, everybody else was the problem. Now, although she had receipts for a lot of the things she was talking about, I also believe in every situation, everyone plays a part. So where do we get to that sense where it's like,
why did they treat you like this?
Right.
Yeah, there's something up with you.
Yeah, what was the thing that made them like, oh, let's fuck with Monique?
Yeah.
And she has that old lady mentality of, I'm older, I say what I want, I'm always right. Because that shit ain't right neither.
So that was the basis of this whole conversation. She got that Big Mama is right all the time, even when Big Mama can't read or write or understand how to do nothing.
Because she also has daddy backing her. If you sat down and you watched when they addressed her son, he spoke the whole time. And she was just sitting there like, yep, that's right, yep, And people in the comments was like, Monique, speak up. Say something. This your kid.
Shit.
You know what I'm saying? Again, there's some real trauma there. And again, if this man has been around as long as she's saying, he conditioned the shit out of her.
That's pimp shit.
Yeah.
That's
big
some
time.
pimp shit.
Big time. So I think therapy is needed here on every end and every aspect, because it's sad to see.
Right.
Because he's grown as hell.
He's definitely grown as hell, and it's like we have to think about, when do we forgive?
That part.
You know what I'm saying? And then I know that's your mom, but it's like, all right, I'm living my own life now.
But you know what it is, Stu Shot? I'm a big proponent of cutting people off, man.
Right.
Not everybody can't go, right? And sometimes it's hard to cut family members off or disassociate from people that, you know what I mean, that aren't doing you well. But if you got mental health issues and stuff that's affecting your whole daily life, maybe sometimes just because people are your blood, you gotta let them go.
Right. But she said in the Shay Shay interview that she has disconnected herself from her brother, her mother, and all these other people in her family as well. And the other thing we have to remember is apples don't fall far from the tree. There's a lot of Monique in her son.
More than likely, yeah.
And it's probably some shit she don't like, right? Because a lot of times our kids are the mirror images of the shit we don't like.
Right.
And you like, oh, shit, that's me? And instead of her addressing maybe that side of her, maybe it's easier just to say, I fuck with him from afar.
Well, if you're going to let go, and if you're in a situation where you're going to be, especially when you're dealing with your kids and you're going to be letting go, well, let them know you're letting go, right? Instead of it being this,
sometimes you might.
Look how hard that
there's
is.
been people
it might be a trigger for him. She probably like, damn, I don't want to, let me just move on, because if I tell him that, he's going to weaponize that against me.
But you're going to leave him in limbo and leave him forever traumatic.
But sometimes leaving
traumatized.
But is it limbo, or is it sometimes just leaving the door open? Because sometimes as a parent, how many times have you yelled at your kid, but you left the door open to where if they came and said, Dad, I'm hungry, you still gonna feed them?
Yeah, but I'm not at the level that these people are. They have a different level of trauma that they're dealing with. If I've had people that I don't fuck with anymore, right? And I'm go to them and be like, listen, before we become enemies and we can't really coexist in a space where if I see you, I'm gonna have to punch your face in. Let us not deal with each other anymore, right? And I think that's a mature stance to take. The same thing if you have a family member or someone that you don't deal with and someone you feel like, yo, we can't remedy our situation. Basically, you're saying, Monique is tarnished in herself and she can't fix that relationship that they have. Maybe they can't fix it. They've ran their course on trying to fix their relationship. Listen, let's agree to disagree.
Do you understand how hard that is when it's your own child?
Understood, but it's worse when you're not addressing it, and I got to try to figure it out on your own. And now I'm making assumptions and I'm thinking, and then you're not even looking at this.
But as a parent, why do I have to address it when my child is ready for me to address it? I'm still a human being. Sometimes we not ready to face the reality of our ugly fucking truths, and sometimes I need a minute. Sometimes you need a minute. Just because my child wants me to address it doesn't mean I have to address it. That goes with anybody in life. Just like when somebody hurts you, they can't decide how you're supposed to fuck with them after the hurt and the betrayal. You can't decide that for me. That's for me to decide how I want to rock with you, right? So maybe she's at that stage. Again, I don't know, but we can't say because her son wants her to do something in the moment that it's just automatic. No, we are all human beings. And she got a lot of trauma. She don't talk to her mama. She don't talk to her brother. This is deep, right? It goes so much deeper. And this makes so much sense to why she clings to her husband the way that she does. To where he's her safe haven, literally. Like, he's her lifeline. So it's like, just because the son has a problem, just because the son wants her to address certain things or speak on certain things, she may not be ready. Or as a parent, you know how hard it is to distance yourself and not completely close the door from your child because you never want them to feel like the door is not open? That's a very odd place to be in life. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, to me, heavy therapy. And I mean heavy. I'm not talking shits and giggles therapy. No. Take the Monique with the M-O, as she said on Shay Shay, M-O-Neek. No, put Monique, the full Monique on, and go into that therapy and speak like she needs to speak with her son as well. I think it was very distasteful for her son to make shit public.
She made it public, though.
Did she?
Yeah, she made it public before.
When she said on the Shay Shay show, that's how it started.
Yeah, she made it public. But regardless of that, it's all public, right? And she's
but it's different when it's in an interview versus her son just coming out and just
he's
speaking.
Feeling like he has to defend himself as well too.
Does he though? To who? Who did you have to defend yourself
to?
To
the public.
Why? Why do you care? That's your mother.
Because he's been affected, and I think that's the thing that's being downplayed on the whole situation is that she's Monique, he's her child, and the trauma that he is been inflicted on him is being downplayed in this whole situation. And if I felt like my mom was going on platforms and not taking accountability for the things that was happening to me, I might feel some kind of way about that. And if he went online to kind of just vent what was going on, people are going to pick that up because it's Monique, right? He wanted to maybe vent to his friends or vent to whoever it is, because it's not like he's a comedian too, I think, right? But like, which is very funny that his mom was a comedian, he's a comedian, right? But at the end of the day, and comedians communicate with people all the time, and they can't communicate with each other.
And they're some of the saddest people on earth.
Yeah, that's a fact, right?
Absolutely.
But he felt like, yo, listen, for all the trauma that I've been through, endured with my mom, I should get some kind of clarity. I should get some kind of some
clarity
some kind of peace.
Or clout.
I don't think it's clout at all. I don't think he's coming from a place of clout. I didn't get him clout chasing. He didn't throw no bars in there, no wit, no nothing. It's just him expressing, yo, listen, I wish I had a better relationship with my mom, and I wish my mom put more effort into me having a better relationship with her, and she wouldn't go on and not take any accountability for our relationship. And even if she did go through things, and she went through things as from a traumatic standpoint, we should be able to resolve that. Sit down and say, look, express to me the things that you went through. I've had many a conversations with my mom, because me and my mom have a tarnished relationship as well. Me and my own mom, right? And it's when she started expressing things that she went through as a teenager and stuff that happened in her own life that I started recognizing that she is not Superwoman, just like you just said, right? And she has pain going on in her life too, but she's not facing her pain head first. And because of that, sometimes we have these conversations where I'm like, yo, Mom, why'd you say that to me? And she's like, yo, it's a mistake. That's me. That's how I am. Well, that's not right, because then if I was a bad kid and I said something bad to you, you wouldn't like me to say, well, this is how I am. Right? People have to address people and make corrections and make changes going forward so we can have a symbiotic relationship.
But that's also the thing that I noticed that, again, Monique's era, right, are the hypocritical generation.
Facts.
They're the generation of do as I say, not as I do.
Mm-hmm.
They are the generation of I'm going to point the finger at everybody else but me. They are the generation of we're not going to tell you what we did wrong,
mm-hmm.
right? To where we can even go back as far as the elders telling you to be married and you should be married and you shouldn't be shacking up and you and this. When grandma was a whole side chick.
Mm-hmm.
Grandma was the other chick in the other family. And we start noticing all of these things. So you're just like, hold up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not even walking it like you talk it. And you have all of these other things that are happening. So she comes from that era.
I agree.
She comes from the era where, like I said when we first started, the man is the mouthpiece. The man is the holy grail. The man tells and sets the stage and the precedence. She comes from that era. And she also comes from that hypocritical era, to where I don't have to be accountable. It's what I said or it's no way.
And that's trickled down into so many different things. And that's why you have women not being accountable for so many other things now. And that's why if you as a man, just like her son is being put in a situation where he's questioning his mom's way of raising him or questioning the woman in general, for one, you hate black women, you don't like women, or who are you to and that's how we get to a point where you raise weak men because you can never question your mom or you can never question the thing that she's done, and then they end up not holding themselves accountable, and we have this disconnect that's happening here that we've been having for so long. It's a give and take.
It's an ugly cycle.
Right? And it's an ugly cycle. It's definitely an ugly cycle of things going around and around. Unless someone decides, listen, I'm going to do something about it. I'm going to change how I approach my kids. I'm going to change how I communicate with my kids and try to look inward about what our role in every relationship is. What is my role as a parent towards my kid and my kid towards my kid towards me? And how can I make it better?
And I'll say this. Effective communication is big when it comes to raising children. Your children should. I'm a proponent of family meetings. I'm a proponent of having my children speak their truth, no matter even if my children have to curse in the family meeting just to get their point across because they don't know how to articulate it fully because they're kids. I don't mind. Now you ain't gonna curse me out. You know what I'm saying? But if your emotion is that high that you have to say fuck, I don't, whatever, I'm not mad at it in the family meeting, right? We've got to get back to that. We've got to get back to family meetings. We've got to get back to family therapy. It's something that is frowned upon in our community and there's a difference between psychology and psychiatry, two very, very different things. But we've got to get back to that place to where we are sitting down. I remember growing up, we had Sunday dinners at my aunt's house and the whole family showed up. You know what I'm saying? And we bonded and we work together. We've got to get back to this sense of village and the village mentality. But something like this, speak to your kids and create a safe space. And I mean a real one, not no BS safe space, a real one where they can honestly tell you how they feel and you don't get offended. Put your emotions to the side. Because a lot of times as parents, we be in our feelings all day.
And I think the message is let's forgive our mothers.
Right.
You know, they had it hard. You know what I'm saying? Like
they did.
At 56 years old, Monique is what? She's 56 years old. I can imagine what she went through growing up, being like
the fat, uneducated black girl,
right? So
trying to make it.
You know, we have to give them some grace, and you know, and just try to move on and be better parents to our children. You know what I mean? So, with that being said, we're out of here for the day. This is Conversations on Film. We have
Pick Me, Lady Jazz. Pick me.
And
Hollywood Rick, Hollywood your boy.
And Shatek, the producer. You know, I don't know what happened at the top. You know, I think I got a little fucked up with my.
We know what happened. He bought this new damn gadget,
right?
And he in here fixated on the gadget,
and
he forgot to press the volume on the damn thing because he in here with this stupid toy.
Yeah,
it's fire though. I ain't gonna lie. The little Vision Pro shit is ill.
Right. All right, y'all. Make sure y'all follow us on Instagram, Conversations on Film, Hollywood your boy.
Yeah.
Pick Me Lady Jazz.
Yeah.
On YouTube, subscribe at Conversations on Film. All right, y'all. Peace.